I'm Sherry O'Brien. I was born and raised at St. Michael's, fourth generation St. Michaelite. Wife, mother, grandmother, cat owner. So that's who I am, crafter. And I obviously have close ties to St. Michael's. It's been my home most of my life. And I want to be on the vestry because I want to be part of the group that cares for the church and cares for the people in it.
Okay. So, Sherry, do you have, this is Rick, do you have any particular thoughts or goals for your time on the vestry for the next 3 years?
Well, to help with the search in any way that I can as a vestry member. And I think that my gifts include discernment, being able to hear both sides of a conversation and mediate where needed. And one of my gifts is organization and tenacity, that given a task, I will stick to it and get it done. Any other questions?
Any other questions from the folks in the room? Or if you want to leave a chat question, feel free to go ahead and do that. If not, then Carl, do you want to chime in with an introduction and
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my name is Carlburginski, and my wife and I, Cheryl, have been coming to St. Michael's for about 6 years. We're relative newcomers compared to some of you. We're not a fourth generation by any means, but we still value very much the community of St. Michael's, and I've appreciated getting to know many of you, or some of you anyway, in my time there, men on Wednesday, and certainly during the services, which were interrupted 2 years ago, which has been a big deal for all of us. I feel that my desire to serve on the vestry is based on, if you want to call it a calling, and that would be an accurate way of putting it, to try to, I guess, build on the shoulders of others that preceded us. So many, you know, when I speak with the men on Wednesday, I know that many of them attending church for quite a number of years, and they talk about people who used to come to church who are no longer because of death there, but they had a significant contribution. So, and I think I can provide some assistance in these difficult transitions we're going to be going through, and I'm hopeful that I can listen to all of you and serve in a gracious way. The question I guess you had is, what particular issues or problems would you like to work on? I think whatever comes our way, I think the immediate questions are that I can see is figuring out what's happening with our membership these days. How are the pledges coming in? That are they changed? Are they decreased? And how can we accommodate that in our budgets? I have a lot of experience in nonprofit management, and listening to boards of directors, which in our case is our vestry and all of you. I have financial skills. I have documentation skills, so I can communicate ideas to people, I think, in a reasonably coherent way that you can understand. And as part of, I was looking at today's readings, and we're all part of one body, and we're all members of the same body. And I think the skills I have can help all of you as well as St. Michael's, and I'm looking forward to serving.
Any other, you can put it in the chat, any other questions for Carl? And then Carl, like I asked Sherry, is there anything in particular from a goals perspective that you'd like to see accomplished over the next 3 years?
Well, I think one of the immediate needs are certainly to find new staffing, a new rector and associate rector, if that's in the cards also. But the key thing is searching and finding somebody who meets the spirit of St. Michael's and adds to the joy of the community. I think that's really significant. We're hit with double whammies. One is losing, obviously, our clergy, on top of dealing with COVID isolation and truncated services, which have been Zoomed. So I just want to keep St. Michael's going and improving for the next generation of St. Michael's parishioners who come after us.
Great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Hey, so Trina, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Okay. My name's Trina Parent, and I've been attending St. Michael's since 1997, my family and I. And I'd like to serve on the board. I feel like I have time now. I'm recently retired, and I feel like I've always wanted to be involved, but with 2 children, a full-time job, I just felt like, maybe I didn't have the time to give. I probably have more time than talent. No, I'm just, I feel like I'm a good communicator and a listener. I'm a president of a library board on the coast, and so I have dealt with volunteer boards. What I'd like to see at another reason I wanted to be on the board was because I go to the 7:30 service. I'd like to see that totally integrated to our whole body. This morning I read the lesson about all the parts of the body and how we need to be totally in as one. I think we're all here in the body of Christ. So I think that's really, it's important. I think that's about it.
All right. Any questions for Trina? Do you want to drop in the chat? And while people are thinking about that, Trina, how about you? Are there any particular goals or objectives for the next 3 years?
Well, of course, the transition and whatever I can help in getting a new rector. And then I'm also interested in not only what happens inside of St. Michael's, but I really appreciate what we do outside and reaching out to the community and the wider community. And I feel like in my job, I've dealt with many different people with disabilities and also multicultural experiences, and just feel like everybody needs to be a part. And I think St. Michael's does a good job with that. I think we're always open to improvement.
Yeah, agreed. All right, that's fantastic. We're very excited to have you joining the vestry. And any other questions before we for Trina before we turn this over to Beth?
Richard here. I'm glad to see some 7:30 participation.
Thanks.
All right, Beth, there we go. Mind introducing yourself? Give us a little bio.
Okay, I'm Beth Elam. I've been at St. Michael since 2017. Prior to that, I spent almost 30 years in Lacey, Washington, and was very involved in a mission Episcopal church there called St. Benedict's. So I have the experience of actually being a staff person. I was the music director for 9 years there. And also during my time there, we went through 3 different transitions. And so I served on a profile committee, and then as a staff person was, involved in keeping things going. One of the transitions lasted over 2 years during that time. So I'm pretty comfortable with the great unknown of transition time. And because I am retired, I finally probably have enough time to serve on the vestry. I particularly want to represent the immigrant welcoming congregation. I'm on the core group for that, and really want to be able to help us restore our ties between the 7:30, 9, and 11 o'clock services in community and the Misa. We had great plans for collaborative worshiping experiences before the pandemic, and we hope to implement that finally, maybe sometime later this year. I'm also in the choir, so I'm pretty involved in the music program and a big supporter of that. We have such a richness of skill, of kindness, of faith in our staff. And so during this difficult time where we may have to make budget decisions, I really want to be an advocate for, I think, something that really makes St. Michael stand out in its worship and adds tremendous meaning. So those are my particular interests.
Great. Great to have you, and thank you for volunteering for this, what I have found to be a remarkable journey. And so it'll be interesting to see how we change and evolve over the next 3 years. So any other questions for Beth? I'm going to drop in the chat. And Beth, I would ask you the same thing I ask everybody else. What any particular goals or objectives that you'd like to see over the next 3 years?
Well, probably the most pressing, other than the clergy search, is that we get back to our in-person forums and educational opportunities, along with a Zoom component. I think hybrid is going to be really great. I think we're going to be able to really serve more people that way, but that we can, start to transition back to some of the things that we had prior to the pandemic. And I'm sure there will be new opportunities, for us all to grow in our faith journey and to serve others.
From your lips to God's ears, Beth. All right.
I have a question to all the candidates. And that is, transitions can be a time of uncertainty and concern and so forth, but I also see it as a time of opportunity. And I would like to know from each candidate what you see as an opportunity or opportunities in this time of transition.
I have found in the past that times of transition are a time for people within the community to rise up and learn new skills, develop new pathways for people to serve each other and to grow as a community. So I expect that will be the same experience here at St. Michael's. There's such a depth of wisdom, talent, and experience in this congregation. And there are so many servant leaders I expect that to just improve.
I would echo what Beth just said, and I think that it's instead of worrying about all the challenges, think about the opportunities we have to help St. Michael's continue and grow and continue, obviously, in our outreach, which has been so important through the years. And the need for outreach is going to increase, I believe, as we go forward. So, and I want to be part of that.
Mhm.
I served through at least 2 searches in different churches. My husband was in the Navy, so we traveled a lot during his active duty time. And I served on vestry in 2 different churches where we were going through a search process. And it's important that the lay community understands that they can step up and fill positions, which I guess is pretty much what Beth said. I also feel that we need to find ways. I was coffee hour person for a long time. Hi, Lynn. And to find ways that we can continue with the ways of connecting, either with the Zoom coffee hours or with, this is all off the top of my head, ways of connecting and communicating and being community that we don't have because we're not in the building as much as we were. We don't have opportunities through forums and coffee hour and different things that go on, even committee meetings that we can't have because of the COVID in the way that we used to.
I just wanted to say something in addition. And my experience has been that women do most of the work in nonprofit organizations. And I'm pleased that there's 3 strong women here next to me, so to speak. And
and a strong woman behind you.
Yes.
And this will be an exciting adventure coming up, and I'm looking forward to it.
Can I talk? Oh, good. So I echo what you've all said. And one of my goals would be to increase communication and connectiveness between everybody in the parish. And I think, COVID has completely blown it up, and find ways to reconnect with everyone so that they feel a part of the parish. And I remember when I first came to St. Michael's, my husband and I were just looking for churches, and we had a personal call after we attended the service, and I thought, wow, and they invited us to come back, and it was just so warm and welcoming. And I think things like that really, really help.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you all. Those great insights, great comments. Anything else from any other questions for our vestry candidates? So the process next Sunday, hopefully everybody knows, at 12:15, we will have our annual meeting. We'll go from 12:15 to 1 o'clock, and at which time the community will vote on our vestry candidates. We have 4 open slots and 4 candidates, among some other things. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on in a week Sunday at the annual meeting. So if there's nothing else, Thank you all. Have a good
Rick, can I
Sunday.
just say thank you to all the candidates for stepping up to Vestry. It has a reputation for being challenging, but I think you will find it very enriching for both your personal and your spiritual life. And just as a member of the St. Michael's community, I'm really grateful for your stepping up into candidacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
All right. You all take care.
Okay, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.